Hello and welcome to Wake Up Wednesdays with the Women's Business Center. I am Roberta McCullough, your host. And as you know, we meet on the first and third Wednesday of every month. So it's the third Wednesday, and here we are. I am very, very excited to be here with you all today. And I'm going to introduce our guest for the day in just a moment. But I just want to make sure that I always give kudos to our radio station platform, which is 72.9 The Voice. This radio station is owned and operated by Lakeisha Melvin, who is an African-American woman that does an amazing job with her radio station. She is very skilled, and she has given us a platform to give the Women's Business Center a voice. So I always like to give kudos to her. So today we have a special guest who is actually a Women's Business Center client, a fairly new client. And I am just excited to have her here today and to talk about herself and talk about her business and all of that. And it's going to be an education for me because I'm interested in learning more and more about her business. So we have a lot of clients, so we don't often know as much as we would like to know. But this is a platform for Consuela Chapman to tell us all about her business. The name of her company is Choices in Wellness. And so, Consuela, I'm going to turn over to you and welcome to the Wake Up Wednesdays with the Women's Business Center, first of all.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we are very glad to have you here. So I'm just going to ask you some questions, and you can just kind of tell me as much or as little as you want us to know. I hope you want everybody to know everything about your business. So that's the whole purpose, right? So tell us a little bit about your business, again, about the name of it, and just how you came up with the name and what your business is.
So my business is Choices in Wellness. It is a group practice located in Raleigh. And just a little bit about the name, it's kind of twofold. I believe in, being able to offer a variety of different modalities in conjunction to talk therapy. Talk therapy doesn't work for everyone. And then I also wanted to provide a safe place for people of color. That they do have choices for their wellness. Yes. And so that's how I came up with the name.
Awesome. So yes, that snippet lets me know we got a lot to talk about today. So how long have you had your business? When did you start it?
I started my business in 2018.
Okay. So who's your typical client for this kind of business? I know you said you focused on African American community. So is it a particular age group or what? Just tell me who your typical client is.
So my typical client is professional women in between the ages of 25 to 55.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So why did you choose that particular sector of women?
The reality of it is, as women, we wear a variety of different hats, and we're expected to show up. And a lot of times we compartmentalize our thoughts and feelings in order to just kind of get through. And they need a place to be able to unpack their day, their trauma, their past. When they're in transition from relationships, I'm there to support them along the journey.
Well, that is good. Man, I tell you what, I got a whole group of people, including myself, that probably just sit talking to you because my goodness, you're right. We run all the time. Some of us are mothers or definitely your aunties and daughters that are caring for their parents or maybe even some siblings in that case. And we're spouses and we're teachers. The list just does not stop. So,
career focused.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All that before we even started working, right? So you're absolutely right. So that is a wonderful thing. So if someone were to come to you and they're in need of your services, I know in this COVID atmosphere, things have changed. I imagine that before, was it a face-to-face kind of meeting? And are you doing telemedicine now, teletherapy now? So talk about that, please.
Yes. Before COVID, primarily 99% of my clients were in office. Post or, currently 100% of my visits are virtual.
Oh, wow. So does that work well for your clients? Is everyone, did you lose any clients in the transition, or has it grown?
Actually, I did lose a few clients in the transition,
Mhm.
but honestly, um, I'm getting calls daily, either calls or emails inquiring about services.
Yes.
So, which is great. Initially, when COVID and the self quarantine happened,
Hmm.
uh, now I anticipated an increase, but there wasn't. I mean, there was like a week and a half or so that the phone didn't ring,
Hmm.
and it did almost like boom. People were like, "This isn't working. I need
Yes.
to talk to somebody."
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, because it's I can imagine that you that your business has increased and will continue the longer we're staying in this kind of plateau that we're in right now.
Hmm.
We actually had a webinar earlier about remote working, and it's kind of traumatizing in a way because if you're in your office and you're cozy, you're accustomed, you have this routine where you drive to work, your route and all of this, and all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, don't come back to work, work from home." And you're like,
Right.
"Wait a minute, you know, I don't know if I can." And then what I have seen and hear from a lot of people is that what really has happened in this transition from working in the office to home, it's really mentally stressful because you really realize how strong your technological skills are for one,
Mm.
and you realize, oh, maybe I can't do my job as well as I thought I could because now I got to learn Zoom and I got to learn this and I have to learn that, and it's stressful. Uh,
Right.
yeah.
What I've told a lot of folks, because some people were already working from home,
Uh-huh.
but it's different. And I said the difference is they took away choice. When we were made to work from home, then that we lost a sense of control. It no
Yeah.
longer became a perk. It was like, this is
Hmm.
something I have to do, you
Yeah.
know. And so,
Right.
and so there was this adjusting to your new normal.
Hmm.
And then for the individuals who, had to make that transition to working from home, they lost a social support,
Yeah.
from their colleagues, um, among other things.
Hmm.
And then, two, you're working from home and your children are at home with you,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
that creates a whole new way of balancing, but
Yes.
I told my clients, hey, you got to give yourself some compassion. Everybody
Hmm.
else is working from home too. So if little Tommy runs in there and he's like, mommy, it's okay.
Uh-huh. That's
Okay.
right.
It's happening to them too.
That's right. I tell you what, I have seen dogs and cats and kids and spouses, and you hear horns from the out. I mean, just everything going on. So I think everybody, you're right, is
Hmm.
very accommodating those
Hmm.
kinds of
Hmm.
distractions. But it still is, it's a lot to take on.
It is.
It really is. And so I think that what you're doing with your business, and I know that you probably have made I won't say adjustments, but have focused on those things that are relative to this remote transition that nobody knows the end to, you
Right.
know. So it's kind of it's really it's just a different space because none of us can say, oh yeah, we did that before, because none of us have done this in this way before by force and indefinitely at the same time. So now
Exactly.
most of us, if not all of us, that went from the office to remote have now done this for 90 days at this point.
Hmm.
So now, it's kind of like we passed a probationary period, of this typical new job I have. Now, is this permanent? But,
Right.
so
Right.
it's just a lot. It really is a
It
lot.
is, and the reality of it is, some people are having anxiety about returning to the office because the fear is still there. COVID
Yeah,
hasn't gone anywhere,
that's
you
right.
know,
That's right.
and so there's this. I'm talking with clients about that,
Hmm.
because anxiety is really just fear of this unknown, right?
That's right. Hmm.
Um, and so just kind of giving them some tools to add to their toolbox on
Yeah.
how to relax and just kind of be in the present. Hmm.
Hmm. So tell me, have you talked with folks? And I'm saying I'm asking questions, but I'm being gingerly because I know things are very sensitive in the work that you do. So have you have clients come to you that feel burnout even in the short time span of working at home,
Mhm.
because the hours seem to be much longer,
Oh
because
yeah,
it's
definitely.
yeah, yeah,
There's no transition, and so what I tell them, you have to give yourself permission to take breaks.
yeah,
Just because you're working from home doesn't mean you don't need to take a break. You
yeah,
know, you
that's
still
right.
need to take a lunch.
Hmm, hmm. Yes.
you know, um, yeah, I've had clients say that yeah, they are clocking out at 5 o'clock. They are working over. Some are even working on the weekends
Oh no.
because there's a fear that they think others may be thinking they're not really working because they're working from home. So there's this need to do more, and I'm
Oh
like,
god.
no,
Right.
that's an irrational belief. You know that you're working,
Yes.
so you
Right.
don't have to put in that extra additional time to try to prove anything to anyone.
That's right. That's exactly right. So it is just stresses on so many levels. So, um, is it totally just a therapy that you offer, or do you do other things related to that? I don't know quite how to ask because it's not my industry.
Mhm.
So, tell me, what if I were to come? Just talk about what all you offer.
So I offer traditional talk therapy. We do offer groups as well. I offer speaking engagements. I'm actually doing a training tomorrow via Zoom with
Mhm.
NAMI and some of the other nonprofits. They're part of
Okay.
a nonprofit peer group for executive directors.
Okay.
And I also have a partnership with Yoga for Us, which
Mm.
is one of the African American owned Black yoga instructors.
Oh, nice, nice. That is excellent. That's good. So, is it just your practice, or do you have some business partner, or is it just you solely?
It's just my business,
Uh-huh.
but I do have another clinician, Shaisha Bell,
Mm-hmm.
who also sees clients virtually.
Okay. Oh, awesome. That's good. That's good. So not only did you create your own business, then you also created jobs. You created
Yeah,
jobs.
that's my goal.
Yeah.
I want to give back to the community. I want to in various ways, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Provide that safe space
Mm-hmm.
um, to unpack. I also want to be able to employ. I mean, I eventually I want to have a mentoring program meant to meet.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Um, there's a program I went through called Launch Raleigh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and one of the things that I learned about myself is that
Mm-hmm.
I was called a maverick, you know.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And I said, oh, it all kind of makes sense. I'm not, I always say I go by the beat of my own drum.
Uh-huh.
Um, the the maverick profile nailed how I am as a business
Mhm.
owner and
That's
entrepreneur.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
I'm a
awesome.
risk taker.
Well, that's
Hmm.
good. That's good. Risk is good. People think risk is a bad word, but it's not. So we're going to come back to that because that's kind of, I was about to ask you something that we're going to come back after the break and we'll pick
Okay.
up right there. So you all stay tuned. You're listening to Wake Up Wednesdays with the Women's Business Center, and we'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Latanya Lodge, and I'm the CEO and founder of The Trust Life. The Trust Life is an all-natural hair and body care line that specializes in using ingredients you can read and trust. We cater to all hair types, especially those with natural textures, wavy, and curly hair. Call us today to receive a free consultation by a licensed cosmetologist at 888-311-2479.
Oak City Bail Bonds is Raleigh's premier woman-owned bail bonding company. We're centrally located across from Wake County Detention Center at 319 Chapman Oak Road, Suite 114A in Raleigh, North Carolina, 27603. The best way to reach us is by telephone at 919-239-1613. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Oak City Bail Bonds. Sometimes bad things happen to good people. Your freedom is our business, and our word is our bond.
My name is Dr. Fatima Larry, and I'm the president of FBL Clin Writers. Are you looking for experienced medical writers? Are you looking for writers to support your new drug application team? Well, we are here to service pharmaceutical and biotechnology companies in pursuit of speeding your application to agencies as quickly as possible by providing expert medical writing services. Contact us at www.fblclinwriters.com. Thank you.
Are you pregnant or about to adopt a newborn? Did you recently have a baby? If you've answered yes to any of these, contact us at the Doula Experience 919-323-4907. We provide non-judgmental education and support during labor, postpartum, and loss. Visit our website to view our services and to schedule a consultation. www.doulaxperince.com.
Welcome back. You are listening to Wake Up Wednesdays with the Women's Business Center. I am Roberta McCullough, your host, and our guest for today is Consuela Chapman, who is the business owner of Choices in Wellness. And for you all that are just tuning in, I don't know about you all, but I need Consuela in my life. She helps. She does teletherapy and helps. And I'll let you kind of reiterate all kinds of areas that you help in, Consuela. But so talk about that. And then before the break, you had mentioned that you were coined as a maverick and a risk taker. So I have a couple of things I want to ask you. So just kind of reiterate the services you offer, and then I'm going to ask you another question in regards to risk.
Okay. So at Choices in Wellness, I offer individual and group counseling. I am also a coach, so I do provide coaching sessions available as well.
Okay, excellent. So again, before the break, you mentioned that that in a group that you were in, a leadership group, that they coined you a maverick because you were a risk taker. And that was perfect and a perfect segue, because I wanted to find out, you said you've been in business just under 2 years now, right? Mm-hmm. So what made you decide to go into business for yourself, and what were you doing before that made this a reasonable transition?
Okay, so just a little bit background. I've worked in a variety of different practice backgrounds, right? Uh-huh. Settings, from home health hospice to psychiatric residential treatment facility, corrections, MFLAC with active duty military and their families. And so I've had an opportunity in my over 10-year career to just kind of look at what companies do. How companies do things right, and how companies do things that I would probably do differently. Mm-hmm. And so, one day I just decided, I'm tired of working for someone else, right? And I've always been coined that I got to go by the beat of my own drum. Uh-huh. So it kind of made sense. If I want to go by the beat of my own drum, I need to create my own drum too, right?
That's right.
So I initially started with co-leasing a office with an attorney downtown, and while I was working on Fort Bragg as an MFLAC, and they were redoing some contract negotiations, and I go by signs, and I was like, they were going to basically decrease our salary by almost $30,000, and under this new contract, and I'm like, that's a lifestyle change. That's not a contract negotiation.
That's right.
So I was like, that's my sign. That is my sign. And so I remember calling Evan, and Evan said, hey, I was just about to call you. My lease is up in August, and I'm not going to renew it. But I won't charge you for that month. And I'm like, I was calling to tell you that I'm going in full time. I'm about to leave this current position. And so that kind of started the scramble to find office space and things of that nature. But, God is great. Everything worked out. I found a perfect spot, and that's where I've been at for the last 2 years. And I guess you can say the rest is history.
Yeah, that's awesome. So did you have any, so apparently from what you just said, you may not have had any anxiety, but you might have, like, after the fact, like, oh my gosh, I really did this. So what we find that a lot of people who are looking to start businesses, and I'm going to say women in particular, have anxiety about stepping out and, relying on their own efforts, even though oftentimes we end up underestimating our abilities. But for you, so when you got out there on your own, did you think, okay, this timing is perfect, or did you have any doubt, or did you just kind of press forward?
I really just pressed forward. I've always kind of been, highly motivated to just succeed, right? I thrive on challenges, and I'm just kind of a big picture thinker, and so even when I had, because of course the clients don't come in immediately. You're not being bombarded, day one. But I had maybe 2 or 3. I went to my father, and I asked him. I said, look, I need to borrow a couple $100 until things take off. And he very supportive. He's also a business owner, and he said, tell me how much you need. And I said, I'll probably give me 90 days, and I'll give it back to you. Because I had a plan to reap up things, which is writing out the contracts with the different insurance panels. I would come home and some of those can be very, very tedious, but I'm let me work on this, get those faxed in, and like I said, it all kind of came together.
That's good. So one thing, did you have a thorough and written business plan? And I'm asking that for a reason.
I did not.
And see, you know what, even though we at the Women's Business Center, we certainly help individuals that, want to start a business and need, and want to write a business plan. We don't write it for you. But, oftentimes people kind of look at me with kind of glazed over sometimes when I say, it depends on if you need a full-blown written business plan or not to start your business. Typically, the real reason why you need one, beyond a shadow of a doubt, is if you are seeking, funding from a lender, because they're going to want that. But in a lot of cases where you have especially in the service industry like yourself, you don't necessarily need a full-blown plan. I mean, you had a plan in your mind. I know that. I hear that clearly. And you implemented that plan. But it didn't necessarily require you to sit down and write out this whole novel about how you're going to do it. Now, I imagine you put some things on paper.
You're right. But one of the benefits of Launch Raleigh, I was able to do that business plan. It allowed me to think of areas and really kind of expand, again, long term. Where do I see choices and wellness going?
That's good.
And really kind of define who my customer is. One of the things that came up in the training, and Katie Giles was, very, very influential.
Shout out to Katie. I know her too.
I kept asking because how do you not answer your phone if you're a business owner? Because my phone would be ringing, and sometimes I would have to leave the training, or just I felt kind of tied to my phone.
Yes.
And Katie said, you have to define who your customer is. Everybody can't be your customer, And then secondly, you need to decide whether or not you want to invest in someone else handling your phone calls and freeing up that time so you won't feel the anxiety, associated with having to be there all the time. That's keeping you from doing the real work. And that was like this aha moment I had for myself. I'm like, you're right. Thank you for that.
Yeah, because you can outsource a phone service and you keep it moving, right? So that's great advice. So that's good because, I what we often see, at the Women's Business Center is a lot of times clients who have great ideas, they have that fear of taking that leap, and they kind of hide behind the fact that they have to finish their business plan as to why they can't get started. And it's like, no, you have everything that you need. If you need to put your ideas on paper, do that so you don't lose track of your focus, but don't let that be the thing that stops you from launching your business. So, and I know it sounds like, what? Y'all supposed to be telling people to do business plans. We do when it's necessary. But if you have this really great service that has a high demand like yours, you did exactly what you're supposed to do, is get out there, launch your business, and keep it moving. So that is just really awesome. So I'm very happy to hear that.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm glad it's going well for you. So how can listeners get in touch with you if they want to reach out? And do you give like a 30-minute consultation right out the gate, or how does it work when someone approaches you and your business?
Okay. So I do offer up to a 15-minute free consultation.
Okay.
However, what I find is during that initial call, when they're calling to schedule, a lot of times they just move forward to scheduling that initial appointment and bypass the consultation.
Okay.
But if someone's interested in setting up a virtual visit, they can go to Psychology Today and just put in my name, Consuela Chapman, Consuela, Chapman with a P, Chapman. You can read a little bit more about me, and also visit the website, www.choicesandwellness.com.
Okay.
There's a space on the website to contact me, or send me an email, info@choicesandwellness.com.
All right, awesome. So I hope that everyone heard that. So I want you all to reach out to Consuela. If you have, sometimes we just need somebody to talk to that's neutral, that's not in our life circle, just to order our thinking or what have you. And she would be the perfect person to do that. And she's available. And she just gave you her contact info. So y'all reach out to her. And so Consuela, this has been most informative. I'm very happy that your business is doing well, that your faith walk is being proven, that everything's going well. And so we look forward to seeing you whenever we're able to have our next event. I know you were at our last event back in December. And
Yes, I had a great time too.
Thank you so much. It was a blast. Even though it poured down rain that day, I will never forget. But it was a great day, a great event. So we look forward to seeing you soon. And I'm so glad that you stopped by the Wake Up Wednesdays and share some of your business with us. So I hope that you all that are listening, who are just sitting on an idea or sitting on a plan of action, just go ahead and implement that. Call the Women's Business Center, and we can help you move forward with that. So Consuela, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to stop by and see us. And I'm sure that we will see you soon.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Are you worried about your communication skills at work? Business Speech Improvement offers online coaching in public speaking, American English pronunciation improvement, and communication skills for leaders. What could better communication skills do for you and your career? Visit us on Facebook and at businessspeechimprovement.com.
This is Tanisha Langley, CEO and founder of Enrichment Strategist Services, LLC, a North Carolina Hub certified education consulting and empowerment coach business. As a veteran educator with effective empowerment skills, I transform environments through positivity coaching to create thriving communities of growth. To enrich your environments and lives through knowledge, call 252-558-3262.
Belle V Lash and Wax Studio is where affordable, quality, safe lash extensions meet your budget. We offer lashes, full body waxing, back facials, and vajacials, serving the Triad and Piedmont areas. We are licensed and insured. Schedule your appointment at 919-446-1980 or Instagram and Facebook at Belle V Studio 77. That's BELLEVIE Studio 77.
Are you looking to take the stress away from planning a wedding or an event? Call BPM Event Planning Company, where we specialize in the bride, the place, and the memory. For weddings, it is all about the bride. For any event, you need the perfect venue. And of course, every occasion creates lasting memories. Contact BPM Event Planning Company at 919-213-9068, or you can find us on the web.
Attention! Do you own a business? Have you been struggling with ways to keep customers loyal and coming back more often? Have you been wanting to cut back on advertising for new business? Well, a loyalty app could be your answer. To find out, schedule a free demonstration. For more info, call Digital Marketing Guys at 919-364-4841. Again, 919-364-4841, or visit digitalmarketingguys.us.
Are you pregnant in the Triangle? Birth and Beyond Incorporated is a full-service doula agency offering birth and postpartum doula support, placenta encapsulation, childbirth education, and belly binding. Our website is birthandbeyonddoulas.com. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Birth and Beyond Doulas. Our mission is to help families seamlessly transition into parenthood. Are you looking for this kind of support? Feel free to reach out at 919-239-1613.
Well, hello. We are back with Wake Up Wednesdays with the Women's Business Center of North Carolina. I am still your host, and I am still Roberta McCullough. And so for those of you all that are joining us, you missed a wonderful guest that we just had, one of our clients. Her name is Consuela Chapman, and she runs Choices in Wellness, which is a therapeutic service that she started about 2 years ago. She gave us insight to what she offers through her company. And if you want to make an appointment with her, her website is choicesinwellness.com. There's choices with an S in wellness.com. You can go on her website and request a complimentary 15-minute consultation and kind of go from there. She wanted me to remind you all, or make you aware if you didn't know, that June is PTSD Awareness Month. So there are many veterans, both men and women, that suffer from PTSD. And we just want to make sure that you know that people understand that and that you have a place to go. So if you think that you may suffer from that, or if you know you may suffer from it and you might need someone to reach out to, then Consuela Chapman would be that person at choicesinwellness.com. So I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about some of the other services that the Women's Business Center is offering right now. So you may have heard me mention before that we were recipients of some additional funding through the CARES Act. And what we were given the funding for was for small businesses and all of this COVID-related activities, as I'll call them, and all the businesses that have suffered either having to shut down or greatly decrease their services or what have you. I know that we here in North Carolina, we are in the phase 2 of reopening our state, and it's been pretty stressful for everybody involved. I don't think there's a single household that is not affected in some way by the shutdown, and also definitely we're all affected by the pandemic. And so what we are offering is a series of webinars that support businesses and just people in general in getting and understanding how to just migrate through this new world that we're in and some assistance in helping your small business. And some of you may be thinking of starting a business in this time frame. Well, we can certainly help with that as well. So some of the things that we are offering services around are remote work and how to maintain your team through remote working, how to maintain and offer good customer service, because you definitely don't want to lose clients in this process. And you very well can if you haven't been prepared, which no one really was for this transition. But now that we've been in this for 3 months, I cannot believe that we have been dealing with this transition and with this remote work and remote life and secluded life and sheltered in place and every other tag name that we can give it now. That has been 3 months. And so that's a pretty long time of doing something that you hadn't planned to do. And so we offer many webinars right now. Of course, everything's virtual, in how to just kind of manage your business and manage your life through this process. We've had seminars on how to, we have had a really good one on remote work and just those things that that can affect you mentally, really, through this transition. Because there are people that are extroverts that enjoy the office life, enjoy the camaraderie, and then all of a sudden they find themselves stuck at home. Some people live by themselves, so they've spent a lot of time by themselves that they didn't plan to do. Or quite frankly, you're at home, you got spouses and or significant others, and you may have children, you may have other relatives that live with you. And it's a lot because you deal with all that, and then you're trying to run your business from home, or you're trying to work from home, and you're trying to exercise self-care, and it is just a plate full. And so a lot of the webinars and services that we are offering help you kind of do a self-check and make sure, okay, it's okay if I'm frustrated today. It's okay if I'm not working 8 hours, quite frankly, because you may not work 8 hours a day, but you probably work 10 or 12 the next day. It all comes out in the wash. So we have to just really, really, really give ourselves allowances to not be so perfect in this world, in this transition that we didn't plan to be in anyway. So, I thought about this earlier today, and I said, wow, typically on a new job, you're giving a 90-day probationary period to see if this is going to work for you or not. Well, guess what, world? We are at our 90-day period in this shelter in place and in this whole pandemic experience. So now we're at the point where we have to really ask ourselves, wow, is this scenario working for me? And what adjustments do I need to make it workable? Because we don't know the end. We don't know how long we're going to be in this transition. It may be another month. It may be another 2 months. There are some companies that are saying, hey, you know what? Stay home for the rest of the year, work from home for the rest of the year. There are some companies that are saying, we're staying this way. And others are saying, okay, we're going to go back into the office in the next 30, 60, 90 days. But some people may have apprehensions about that. Well, all those scenarios are possible and realistic. So some places like our guest from earlier, Consuela Chapman, Choices in Wellness, can help you kind of think through that. She can offer some teletherapy or some group therapy to help you kind of think through this and say, okay, how do I operate in this new space that I'm in now? I'll use myself as an example. I'm probably a hybrid. I am very sociable, but I'm equally as happy by myself. And so the transition to remote working was a little different because I had to find a space in my house, because I'm not at home by myself, where I can work uninterrupted. Because I'm not one of those people that can work with the TV on and with this on and with that on. I need silence. So I had to find that space for myself. And others, my husband is his works from home. He can work with everything on and focus. I can't do that. So, it's all kind of various things that can be going on in your work world, or when you're trying to run a business from home and your kids are there. And, so it's just a lot. And so I wanted to have, I thought it was great that Consuela joined us today and tell us about services that are available just to kind of help you think through and even give suggestions on how to make it more functional for you in your business and in your home life, because both matter. You have to have a balance. And so that's why we wanted to bring her on and talk a little more about that. We actually work with other folks in the field in that particular industry that can also provide some assistance. The webinar that I mentioned earlier was given by Dr. Mira Brancu out of Brancu and Associates, and her business partner, Kate Scott. They gave some excellent tips on working remotely, and this applies whether you're an employee or whether you're a business owner. Uh, Great tips on how to just kind of manage that whole atmosphere, and how it's okay to take a break. And don't forget to, even you have to set your phone to make sure that you eat lunch, and make sure that if you just get burnt, just walk around the block or do whatever. That's the luxury of being remote. You can walk outside. Nobody's going to tell you you're goofing off or loafing off. Walk outside and get some air. I've done that many, many times because we are all zoomed out at this point. We've had meetings on top of meetings on top of meetings. So you just want to make sure that you're promoting self-care. And in the webinar that Dr. Brancu and Kate did earlier, and they talked about what we all, if you've ever flown, you all remember the airplane rule, where you have to take care of yourself first before you can be of service to others. So make sure you have oxygen flowing before you can provide any support and any assistance to somebody else, because you can't give what you don't have in yourself. So I just want to make sure that this is a self-care day that we're talking about, and that you take care of yourself. And in particular, with our guests from earlier, with Consuela Chapman and her business, Choices in Wellness, that she said that her focus was on professional women, and that's whether you're a business owner or have a career job, from ages 25 to, I think she said, to 55. And I asked her why she chose that particular age group and that particular sector of people. And she stated because women, in particular African American women, and women generally speaking, we take on a lot. And especially now for those who are working from home, or maybe running your business from home, and you may or may not have a spouse or significant others, and coupled with the fact that if you had school-age children with this pandemic, then you also turned into a teacher that you didn't know you were going to be, and on and on and on. So things are just layered, and you may be caring for a parent, especially those of us, and I'll include myself, that are baby boomers, where you're caring for a parent and you have a spouse. I mean, it's just, the list is really, really long. And then where on that list are you? And where are you taking care of yourself? And so you really have to make sure that there's a really good balance, because you can really get burned out quickly. And that's one thing I mentioned, Dr. Brancu, that talked about burnout and stress, and how if it's not taken care of, it can turn into distress and anxiety. So we want to make sure that we can manage our own issues and our own signs that we give ourselves. We often ignore signs that our body tells us, but you definitely want to do that. And one of the most amazing ways that we don't think about, or often we just kind of take for granted, that can help above all, and that is just getting adequate rest. And when you're working from home right now, we're all kind of stuck in the house and you're running out of things to do. I'm not one to get bored, but oftentimes when you kind of like, okay, what can I do? You're like, oh, I'll just do some more work. And then you find yourself just really burnt out and you're working into the night. Well, I personally love sleep, and I love my sleep. I don't oversleep, but I make sure I get a good night's sleep every night, at least 7 hours. I'm not one to stay up late. Some people do. I don't see the point. I get sleep. So make sure that you're getting rest, and adequate rest, so that you can refuel, because your body cannot refuel if you're constantly going, if you're constantly waking, if you're constantly up. So just make sure you get that adequate rest. So that's my tip for the day. Um, and I just hope that you all can use this information and that you reach out to Consuela Chapman. Or she referenced that you can go on Psychology Today on the register and look her up and read more about her. But her website is choicesinwellness.com. You have been listening to the Women's Business Center Wake Up Wednesdays. I am Roberta McCullough, your host, and I hope that this information that she shared and that I talked about can be useful for you. If you want the contact information for her, if you didn't catch it, or for the other business partner or partner, I should say, that I mentioned, Dr. Branku, please feel free to call the Women's Business Center at 919-956-2334, or you can go to our host website, www.theinstitutenc.org, and you'll see the tab for the Women's Business Center of North Carolina. Just reach out to us and we can help you get your business started, and we can help you and direct you in any kind of way that you may need for yourself or for your business. Thank you again for listening to Wake Up Wednesdays, and we will see you next time.
They know where to find me. Yeah, we global. Highway going 90. Always mobile. Moving wisely. No beginner. Feeling like a winner at the Women Business Center. They know where to find me. Yeah, we global. Highway going 90. Always mobile. Moving wisely.